I quit, I quit, I quit. Hey teacher friends, welcome to Sutton Teaches Secondary. I am Miss Sutton, but you can call me Marquita, and I'm so happy you're here. I've got a lot to share. So I want to say this, and I have my notebook because I have some notes. I don't want to forget. Let me say, this year, the attitude towards teaching has definitely shifted. I feel like this year has been the first year I've seen so many videos where teachers are just burnt out and they're like making videos saying, I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit. And I understand it. So I wholeheartedly feel like if you are feeling burnt out, or if you're feeling like this is just not for you, you tried teaching, you thought you would love it, and turns out it's not for you, I totally understand. Quit, find a new job, do something that is going to make you feel good and, make you excited about what you do. And I totally support that. However, I do feel like teaching has gotten a little bit harder, especially post-pandemic. And so that's left a lot of teachers like me considering, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Should I actually be teaching? Is that what I want for my life? All of the things. And, I feel like there are a few things you can consider to help maybe re-energize you as a teacher, or kind of allow you to be in the educator realm, but maybe it helps you to take a little break from directly teaching. First thing to consider, how is your work-life balance? Are you leaving at your contract time? Are you arriving super early? Are you working on the weekends? Are you working once you get home? All of those things. That definitely leads to you being burnt out as a teacher. And I know that, especially if you are a newer teacher, it is hard to say, I'm just gonna work my contracted hours. It's almost impossible because you're building a whole curriculum. You're building literally what you're teaching. You've got to review it. You wanna make sure that you're on it. But I will say this, find a way to balance the two. So, do I work beyond my contract hours? Yes, I'm somebody who does, but that's for a lot of reasons, partly because I coach the cheer team. I also do some very strategic things that help me to maintain balance. One of those being, I do not take my computer home. So the second thing that I do for work-life balance is I've taken email off of my personal phone. I feel like this, my personal phone is mine, it's personal. And I should not have to check school emails on my personal phone. And teacher friend, I want you to reevaluate. What are you doing to maintain your work-life balance? Okay. The second thing I want you to consider is, do you just need to be at a different school? Sometimes schools can just not be our jam. Like, it can be because of administration. It could be because of the teacher population. It could be because of how far it is from our school, or how far it is from our home, all kinds of things. And maybe for you need to work closer to home so that you're more attached to the community and you feel more a part of the community. Or maybe for you, you need to be at a school where teachers are a bit more positive, or find a different teacher group that is a bit more positive or supportive. Maybe you are somewhere where it's a school that's requiring you to do a whole lot more than what other districts might require, and it's too much. It's not sustainable. You decide, and if you need to switch schools, you can still be a teacher and be at a different school. Like, that is totally fine. The third thing I want you to consider is, have you put yourself on an island? And maybe it wasn't on purpose, but maybe you're on an island. Sometimes, because as teachers, we're in our own little rooms, we are in our own little worlds, we kind of can close everything else out, and we forget that we are on an island. Sometimes that disconnects us from students, it disconnects us from the greater school community, all those kind of things. And so, in order to kind of feel a part of the school or the school community, you might need to do something that kind of makes you involved. Maybe that is becoming the advisor for a club, or helping students start a new club, or coaching a sport. or planning an annual event. For me, one of the things that helped me kind of get my toes wet when it came to getting involved in the school community was planning cultural events. Like I always loved to celebrate Black History Month. And if I was somewhere and we really didn't have anything, I would spearhead something happening in February. And that would help me get to know teachers. It helped me kind of get to know the school community because I'm meeting people in the office and all kinds of places where I normally wouldn't talk to people because I was on my little teacher bubble island in my room. And then once you start to get to know the people on campus, it kind of makes you feel a part of the campus as well. So get off your island, get out your bubble. That might help you. And the cool thing is, now that I coach a sport, I will say I get to meet students because I teach seniors. So I get to meet students earlier than when I would normally see them as seniors. And then because I know students on campus, it kind of helps me with feeling a part of the community, with getting to know the students, and you just feel more a part of the culture. So maybe you need to get off your island. So the fourth thing that I want you to consider, number 4, is, do you need to leave the classroom? Sometimes we just get to the point where we're like, you know what? I need a break from teaching. And you might not want to break from education, but you just want a break from the day-to-day planning lessons, delivering lessons, those kind of things. And there are options most of the time. Now, I can't speak for every school district, but most of the time there's options, right? Like you can be a curriculum specialist, you can be some kind of specialist that helps with spearheading some kind of project or initiative that's happening on your campus. Could be admin. To me, that's more stressful, but you know, that is an option. Testing, right? Like I know my previous school, the testing coordinator used to be a teacher. Could you go into the media specialist role and like be the person that runs the library? There's all kinds of things that are options for you. Or maybe you work at like the school's downtown district and you are totally gone from, you're doing trainings for teachers and stuff. There's all kinds of ways to leave the classroom if you just need a break, but you don't want a break from education itself. And usually, in my experience, when teachers have taken a break, they take a nice break for a couple years and they're like, you know what, actually I want to go back to the classroom. Working with adults is rough. Let me go back and teach the kids. But sometimes they love it and they stay. So you never know. So the 5th thing I want you to consider is, do you love what you teach? No, honestly, do you love what you teach? Now, I say this because every school there's options, right? Or there should be at least. You might want to change your grade. You might want to change the subject that you teach. Now, that might require some extra classes and credentialing for you, but there might be options. And sometimes even within your subject, there are different classes. Like I know for me, I teach English and there's the grade level Englishes, plus there's English electives, right? And one year I was kind of getting tired of like the same things that I was teaching over and over. And so I asked to be able to teach film as literature. I had to write the proposal for it because our school didn't offer it, although it was a district offering. And so I proposed what the curriculum would look like for my classroom and all that kind of stuff. And I was able to teach it and I loved it. So maybe, there's avenues for you. I know for history, there's a ton of options when it comes to the regular classes and electives. Same thing for sciences, all kinds of things. So maybe you just need to kind of tweak it. And sometimes even for our elementary teachers, you're like, I'm tired of kindergartners, and like maybe need to make a jump to the older students, or you're tired of the older students and their attitudes and you want to go down to like the babies that don't have to test, like I call the kindergartners, first graders, second graders babies, the primary grades that are not doing like the high stakes testing, and because you're tired of like doing test prep and stuff. So like there are options. Test out the waters, see what you're feeling good with, or what maybe a change is going to be good for you. And sometimes that really helps. So the 6th thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th thing that I want you to consider is, have you taken a real break? So every time I'm like, I'm done with teaching, I'm done, I'm getting a regular job, I'm over it. And then summer break comes or winter break comes and I'm like, maybe this teaching thing ain't so bad. Anybody else feel the same way? Let me know in the comments. So I am okay with how things are really not stressful, but how things are really high stakes and like they move pretty fast and I have a lot to do, because I get a nice break. And when I tell you I take my break, I take my break. When winter comes or when it's summer break, there's a moment where I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to say the word teacher, right? And I am not thinking about myself as a teacher at all. I'm not watching teacher videos. I'm not doing trainings. I'm not planning lessons. I'm not thinking about my classroom, nothing. You need a solid break. And so I'm telling you, teacher friend, I'm asking you, have you taken your break? When it is the weekend, are you giving yourself a real weekend? When it is your days off for your breaks, are you actually are you planning and grading? Or are you actually giving yourself that time off? Because the reality is, with the type of job that we have, we need those breaks. They are essential to us doing our jobs well, in my opinion. So take your break. And the last thing that I want you to consider, number 7. Wait, there go my hands. Number 7. I want you to ask yourself, have you or do you need to just kind of revamp what you're teaching? Sometimes, because a lot of teachers, we love school and we were, A+ scholars and we just love learning. Sometimes we get used to what we're teaching. We're kind of like, I'm over it. And we need to just revamp it. Push ourselves to try some new things. And so that might mean we're going to trainings. Trainings are the best, right? We forget that as teachers, sometimes we just want to be a student, which I know I do. So maybe you need to send yourself to some trainings this summer, or have the school pay for it. Better yet, don't send yourself, have the school pay for it. Maybe you need to push yourself to try some new techniques that you've never tried. Maybe you're very heavy on lecture, and this year you pushed yourself to be very heavy on student discussion and student-led and project-based learning, right? Or maybe you're used to teaching the same novels or the same, whatever, and you're like, you know what, this year, all new novels, right? Something to revamp and try something new. Revamp the projects, revamp the assignments. Try something, flip the classroom. Lots of ways and lots of techniques for doing teaching well. And sometimes we kind of get stuck in our same little pattern, and that's what makes teaching feel monotonous and boring and not fun anymore. And so you got to just kind of switch it up. Shake it off. So teacher friend, I'm glad you made it this far, because that means that you're still considering staying in the classroom, and we need you. We really do. And we need to be positive about what we do. There do need to be changes. We need some more money because we work really hard. I know you work really hard, teacher friend. But I'm saying, we're here. We like what we do. And sometimes we just need to make it a little more fun for ourselves, or consider some ways to, recharge what we're doing. So I hope this was helpful to you. And let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you are considering. And there's no judgment either way. If you're leaving, that is great. If you are staying, that is great as well. If you made it this far, why haven't you subscribed, teacher friend? We're friends now. Like the video. It doesn't hurt you. And it's helpful to me. And then also subscribe, because you don't want to miss any more videos. Hello. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, all the things, and I will see you next time. And as always, you are amazing. Bye.